Mrs. Chandler, would you please state your name for the record?
Liza Colby Chandler.
Thank you. And Colby is your biological daughter, yes?
Yes, she is.
Could you describe to this court the love you feel for this child?
Well, it's the most all-consuming, deepest feeling I've ever known.
And what were the circumstances leading up to Colby's birth?
Well, I had decided that I wanted to be a mother. I wanted to have a child. And I deliberately set out to be a single mother.
How does one go about doing that?
Well, I went to a fertility clinic. And I was going to accept an anonymous donor. But then I had second thoughts, and I started looking into other options. And that's when one of my best friends, Jake Martin, offered to be a donor.
What was your response to this offer?
Well, I was amazingly, I just thought it was incredible. He was so generous. And Jake himself described the donation as a clinical procedure.
And that's why you agreed to his offer.
Well, yes. He had no interest, he said, in raising a child, and he appreciated my concerns, and I trusted him, so I accepted.
Liza, was any of this ever put into writing?
No. No, I didn't think I needed it. I took him at his word.
I have one last question for you, Liza. This court today has heard a lot of very negative things about your husband, Adam Chandler. I mean, it's safe to say that he hasn't been painted in a very favorable light. Let me ask you this. Would you leave Adam Chandler if that's the only way you would be allowed to keep your daughter, Colby? Mrs. Chandler, you would leave your husband if it meant you could keep your daughter, Colby.
Yes. If, after hearing my testimony, the court felt that it was in Colby's best interest to be with me and to never know Adam as a parental figure in her life, I would divorce him immediately.
I was hoping they ruled in favor of that, Adam.
Thank you, Liza. I have no further questions.
Miss Colson.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mrs. Chandler, isn't it true that only a few hours ago, before court was in session, my client agreed to drop the custody suit if only you could guarantee that Adam would never be a part of Colby's life?
If I could guarantee, yes, we discussed that possibility.
But you didn't agree to leave Adam forever, did you?
We discussed ways to avoid this hearing.
Did you agree to leave your husband or not?
I didn't say anything.
You can't leave him, can you?
What do you mean?
Well, we've all heard what Adam Chandler is capable of. From Haley Vaughn, from Dixie Martin. Yet you've married the man not once, but twice.
I felt that I could bring out the best in Adam.
Well, I've got another word for it. Addiction. You're addicted to that man, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
Your Honor, this is totally irrelevant.
I would take Colby and I would go to the far ends of the earth, away from Adam, if I felt that was what was best.
Oh, well, would you bother to tell Dr. Martin where you were going?
Of course I would.
Then why didn't you do that this past New Year's Eve? You ran away with Colby then, didn't you? How was the World Television Conference? It was in Monaco, right?
There was no television conference.
Which my client didn't discover until he tried to track you down. He didn't know where, or when, or if you were coming back with his child, did he?
No, he didn't.
That's why we're here, Mrs. Chandler. Your idea of shared custody stinks.
I'm prepared to make a ruling. Jake Martin versus Liza Colby Chandler. Mrs. Chandler, I do not doubt that you're a loving mother, but I do question some of the choices you've made subsequent to your daughter's birth, especially after hearing testimony today.
Oh, wait. Don't do this.
This is not easy for anyone, but I must determine what is in the best interest of the minor child, Colby Martin. It is my judgment that her future will best be served in the custody of her father, Dr. Jake.
No, you can't.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Chandler, but that is my ruling.
And it's wrong. Jake is not Colby's father.
Mrs. Chandler, you're out of order.
No.
Fight this
No.
away, please.
Please, you have to listen to me. No, Mama.
No, Liza,
You can't take my daughter and give her to Jake. He's not her.
Liza, don't do this. I won't keep her from you. Just accept the ruling.
Liza, don't.
We'll work something out.
Just rule. Let's just go home and work it out later.
She's my daughter.
I'll have silence in my court. Mrs. Chandler, if this is a desperate attempt on your part to regain custody of your daughter...
It's not, Your Honor.
Do you have true cause to believe that Jake Martin is not the biological father of your daughter? And I warn you, if you're wasting this court's time, I will find you in contempt.
I'm not. Your Honor, I swear I'm not. My daughter's father. My daughter's father is Adam Chandler.
This is ridiculous. No, no, it's not. No, Liza, don't lie. Don't do this. Just don't do this. It's desperate. I promise I won't keep Colby from you. I want you in her life, but this is
Sorry.
silly. No, don't be sorry. I'll have to order a DNA test, and that'll prove what you're saying is
I know.
silly.
I know. And it'll confirm what I told you. That Adam is Colby's father.
Your Honor, could you please adjourn this thing before it gets...
Your Honor, I agree. I would officially ask for an adjournment so that Mrs. Chandler can collect herself, please.
Mr. Montgomery, I understand how you feel, but I feel it's very important that Mrs. Chandler take the stand now and explain. Do you have any objections?
Frankly, Your Honor,
No, none, Your Honor.
apparently not, Your Honor.
Very well, Mrs. Chandler. And remember, you're under oath. Mrs. Chandler, please explain to me how Adam Chandler could possibly be your daughter's biological father. And mind you, you're still under oath. And if I discover this is an attempt to forestall my ruling, I will charge you with contempt.
She's my child. That's the only reason that I'm talking about her paternity is because I can't lose her.
Go on, and please be brief.
Well, I have to start from the beginning. When I decided that I was going to have a child, Jake was right. I divorced Adam, and I didn't want anything to do with him. I didn't want anything to do with anyone, and I was recovering from my divorce and a miscarriage, and I had suffered a lot of loss in my life. But I desperately wanted to be a parent. I wanted a baby. And so I went to the Pine Valley Fertility Clinic, and I selected a donor, and I thought that that was the answer. That I could have my own biological child with no interference.
What do you mean, no interference?
Well, I wouldn't have to answer to anyone. I wouldn't have to worry about another parent's concerns. And so I chose an anonymous donor, and it didn't work that way. Actually, by accident, I found out the identity of the donor that I'd selected, and then all of a sudden I thought that maybe having a child with somebody that I didn't know or a perfect stranger was not a really good idea. And that's when Jake decided to be the donor. He offered it to me, and he was one of my best friends. And I really loved his family. We agreed that there would be no strings attached. And even though looking back it seems sort of naive now, that's how we went into it.
Mrs. Chandler, you have no documentation on this agreement, and even if you did, I don't understand how Adam Chandler could be your daughter's father.
I was committed to having this baby with Jake. And Adam didn't really like that idea. He bought the Pine Valley Fertility Clinic. And the night before I was to be inseminated, he switched his sample with Jake's.
Mr. Chandler, is that true?
Yes.
He told me in November
thought Colby was Jake's daughter. But ever since then, I have wished that she was.
That's a lie. It is a lie. How can you sit there and lie like that?
lying.
Dr. Martin and Miss Colson, control your client.
Mr. Chandler here has put her up to this. This is exactly what we're talking about, Your Honor.
Jake, I'm sorry.
You're not sorry. Why do you keep saying you're sorry? You sit up there and lie to me. How can you be sorry?
I'm not going to tell you again.
Son. Your Honor, if I may, I'm Jake's father.
Yes, I know who you are,
This
Dr. Martin.
whole unfortunate matter can be resolved easily with a DNA test.
Exactly. We don't have to listen to this nonsense anymore. Clear this.
It just so happens that I have all the proof we need. These are the results of DNA tests taken of me and my daughter, Colby. It's over. It's over. Let his brother take care of him. His brother,
Please don't do anything.
It's all right. It's all right. Honey, he's not worth it.
Everything you need to know is in that report.
Well, everything in that report's probably been paid for.
Everyone sit down. Dr. Martin.
Yes.
Can you look at this, please?
Yes.
Can you verify if that report is correct?
Could be, Your Honor. Looks as though it came from our lab.
Absolutely. I demand another test.
So be it. And Dr. Martin, because of the sensitivity of these proceedings, I'm willing to overlook that brawl that just occurred, but I will not tolerate it again. Mrs. Chandler, if what you say is true, why have you waited until now to come forward with this information?
Jake is a wonderful father. And I think that Colby was very lucky to be raised with the Martin family. When Adam told me, I didn't know what to do. I wanted Colby to be Jake's daughter. In a way, she is.
She still is.
Jake, hear her out.
But you had to push this custody issue. I wanted you to be her father. You're a better father. You deserve to be her father.
Why? Why should I hear her out?
Because she's telling the truth.
I'm sorry, Jake. I'm sorry. I wanted you to be her father. And the reason I had to come forward is that Adam would never let you take her from me.
All right, Mrs. Chandler, I've heard enough. I'll take this information under advisement. Pending substantiation, criminal charges may have to be filed. This is a horrible mess. The proceedings are adjourned until 9 o'clock. Counsel, I expect to see you in my chambers at 8.
Jake. Jake, I'm sorry.